Alright guys, and welcome to a more fun and honestly probably a little bit of a stupid video. This is going to be a tutorial on how to speak Metagoblin. One of the biggest complaints I have in my comment section is, I pronounce things incorrectly, I use certain phrases strangely or incorrectly, and people just downright don't understand what I'm talking about when I use phrases like Bob's your uncle and stuff like that. So in this video, everything will be explained. The first thing we need to do is give people a little bit of a geographical lesson. I think a geography lesson was the better way to say that. So guys, this is a map of the UK. So a lot of people don't even think I'm from the UK for some reason. They think I'm from somewhere else, and I think it's because I don't have either of the more stereotypical English accents, which is either going to be the very posh kind of Michael Caine, James Bond sounding accent, which for some reason every single Hollywood film forces every single English actor to have for some reason, even though nobody talks like that anymore. And then you have, your Cockney EastEnders accents. So guys, this is an example of the posh British accent actually being impersonated by an American.
Of invention. The other thing that will help me here is if I keep a little energy in my upper lip, right? That will help me keep that shape inside my mouth.
So, people don't talk like that anymore. About 1% of people still talk like that. In fact, probably only the Queen and that woman from Amfab still actually talk like this. And here is the second most popular English accent.
The up sound. Words like water should sound like water. Water.
But in reality, guys, there's more than two different accents, two different dialects. In fact, there's probably hundreds, and I'm not exaggerating with that, even though the UK is such a small island. Literally, for instance, I'll give you an example. People here in Preston speak very differently to people in Blackburn, and there's about 10 miles between them. And then people speak extremely differently, like it's like night and day in Liverpool. People in Liverpool speak like they're from a different country compared to Preston, and then people in Manchester speak even more differently around here, and people in Wigan speak even differently, and they live like perfectly between, right? It's even got its own name. It's called Wiganese. A lot of my family are from Wigan, and a lot of them speak very differently to how I speak as well, because where I am from, you have to go much, much further north. I am from a little town here called Windermere, and people in Windermere speak very differently to the rest of the UK, really. It's called South Cumbrian accent. Here's a little example of where I grew up. Definitely showing off here, I know. But you can actually see my house in this picture. This is the view from a little hill called School Knott. So this is basically where I grew up. That's my mate climbing a hill. And that's me. In fact, in this picture here, the little building behind this tree is actually my school. So yeah. So guys, that is why I pronounce things a little weirdly. I literally grew up in the mountains, in a valley, like an actual goblin from the Misty Mountains or something. So, I say dungeon weirdly. Apparently say the word buffs incorrectly. And I can't pronounce the difference between free, as in being free, or free the number, right? A lot of people say that's a representation of your, lack of intelligence. But it is just a dialect thing, so to insult someone's, intelligence based on their dialect and how they pronounce certain words, first of all, is extremely dumb, and is very ignorant and insultive. I mean, at the end of the day, I do actually have an English degree, and this is one of the things that we learn, is how there are different dialects all the way up and down the country, and, people even use 10 different words, probably over 10 different words actually, for like a bread roll or a bun, right? And various stuff like that. Now, when it comes to phrases, English people have so many different phrases, like, scratter, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, apples and pears, all the Cockney rhymes. There's so many different phrases, and I'm going to thoroughly explain the ones that I use frequently on my channel. So, what on earth does Bob's your uncle mean? It means kind of like a number of things. It's kind of like a diverse idiom. So it normally just means that something turned out to be good. Something good happened, a successful result happened. Like, something like priests are finally going to get an AoE ability in Wrath of the Lich King called Mindshare, so Bob's your uncle, right? That's the best way I can explain that one. Like, sometimes I will say that something is, well, that's pretty Bob's your uncle, and what I mean by that is, you know, it's just good. It's like the feeling of when you turn over your pillow in the middle of the night and get the cool side of the pillow. That's what Bob's your uncle means. Now, a lot of people think I used the word cheeky incorrectly as well. Some people pointed this out in my most recent video, which is what made me want to make this video. Because some people said, well, a guy said basically that I don't understand what cheeky means. Now, cheeky doesn't just mean, you know, a under-the-belt, tongue-in-cheek comment. It doesn't mean that. I think that's how Americans use it, but English people use it very differently. So a classic example is, I think basically it becomes a personification of something that's a little bit mischievous and naughty, but you can personify anything with it. Like, for instance, like a beer, a bottle of beer. So, you know, do you want to go down to the pub for a couple of cheeky beers after work tonight? Like, the beer becomes something cheeky. Like, for instance, you could be out with your friends and then one of them says, ooh, let's go to that dessert place that's just opened, and you can turn to them and be like, oof, that is cheeky. That's a naughty idea, that is. So yeah, in a weird way, it can be used to personify an activity or an object that is mischievingly tempting, like beer, or milkshakes, or waffles. So, in the context of World of Warcraft, I could be talking with someone and they could tell me, oh, did you know Retribution Paladins get Divine Storm in Wrath of the Lich King? And I can go, ooh, now that is cheeky. That is a cheeky spell, that does a lot of damage. There you go, guys. That is how you speak Metagoblin. Hopefully I won't have to respond to the comments and explain myself all the time anymore, but that's probably a pipe dream, to be honest. Anyway, my name is Metagoblin. To my next video, ciao.